Alright, example 7. Again, this will be a similar test question for test 1. And what usually gets most people on this problem is the graphing part. So I'm going to go through how to graph this piecewise function, and then we're going to identify the c values where the limit exists. Okay, so a lot of times in calculus you'll hear the c value. C value just represents any x value. Okay, so we're looking for specific c values, specific x values where the limit exists. Okay, so first of all, let's graph this part of the piecewise function. So this part of the piecewise function, we're graphing sine of x when the x values are less than 0. So that would look like this. No point here. And then it would go this way. Hopefully that makes sense how I'm graphing sine of x. Alright, because sine of x goes that way, so go this way. Next, let's graph this one because it's easier. Cosine of x when x is greater than pi. So let's see. Cosine of pi, let's start here and then go up this way, back down, so it's going to look something like this. Then finally, I need to graph one minus cosine x. So it might be best just to do a table for this one. One minus cosine x. And let's graph 0, pi over 2, and pi. Okay? So if I plug 0 in for cosine, cosine of 0 is 1, 1 minus 1 is 0. So I have a point at 0, 0. Let's see, let's plug in pi halves into cosine. That would be 0. 1 minus 0 would be 1. And then finally pi. Let's see, cosine of pi would be negative 1. So 1 minus negative 1 would be like 1 plus 1, which would be 2. So this is going to look like that. Okay. So now I need to identify the values of c where the limit exists. Okay? So the limit is going to exist everywhere except right here. The reason why the limit won't exist here is if I looked at the limit of f of x as x approached pi, from the right, it would equal negative 1. And if I looked at the limit of f of x as x approached pi from the left, it would approach 2. Therefore, the limit of f of x as x approaches pi does not exist. Okay? So the c or the x values where the limit does exist, we would say C is any number except pi. So it looks something like that. Okay.